So this will be my last video of herping finds from 2023, and I'm going to be going over our top 10 finds. These are not in any particular order, just labeled them 1 through 10. I don't think any find's better than the other. Like I said, it's just a way to track 10 of them. So in the next few slides and videos, you'll be seeing what we consider our best finds of herping from 2023. So number 1 on our list were a pair of breeding spotted turtles we had found in central PA. We were at Vernal Pool. I found spotted turtles here before. It's hard to find a spotted turtle on land, in my opinion. I normally see them basking and then they dive into the water. So this was a treat to find one on land. And then not only did we find one, we found another. So really good find. These are species of special concern in Pennsylvania, and you'll see in this upcoming video what we find. So as I approach a turtle here, which I see in the leaf litter around a vernal pool, checking it out to see what the pattern is on the bottom, to see if it's one I've seen before in previous years. And like I said, we saw one, and then in close proximity to that, we saw another. So really cool find. Well, we don't find these turtles a lot. They're kind of in somewhat of site-specific habitats, so they're not everywhere like box turtles are. And here are those 2 spotted turtles. We placed them together. Like I said, they were within like maybe 3 yards of each other, so very close proximity, which led us to believe it's a breeding pair. We found these in early spring of 2023. So coming in at number 2 on the list was I found 8 northern red salamanders in one herping trip, all along like the same stream or creek. These guys aren't rare at all, but I think they're a really cool find. They have really vibrant colors with the red. They do dull in age, but I guess in their prime, their colors are really beautiful. I find these guys here or there, but like I said, I found 8 this particular day. And here's just videos of me finding a whole bunch. Like I said, I found 8. I want to say from the first one to the 8th one, they were probably within half a mile each other along the same trail on a creek, right next to a creek or stream. They do dull in age, as I mentioned before, but when they're in their prime, they have a really vibrant red color. These are probably one of my favorite salamander species to find. I know they're not as big as the mole salamanders, but just for their color, it's a really cool find. So I was fortunate to find 8 of these guys, which usually in a herping trip I only find 1 or 2. So coming in at number 3 on the list, we found 2 snake-eating snakes under the same piece of cover. I don't think that these snakes were going to feed on each other, but they both do eat other snakes, so that would be a possibility. Our hypothesis was that the racer was full, and he was a little bit bigger than the milk snake, so maybe that's why he didn't go after him or eat him, or that's why they were cohabitating in the same area. Just the video of me walking up, flipping an old piece of tin, and to my amazement, I found 2 snake-eating snakes under it. Normally at this site, it's not uncommon for me to find milk snakes or racers, but never together. So that's the significance of this find. I have found milks, garters, and black rats all under the same piece of cover. But like I said, I've never found a racer with another species. So just a really interesting find. You can see I flipped the piece of cover here. I found them in back-to-back days in basically the same position. So a really interesting and unique find. So coming in at number 4 on the list is Basking Pit Vipers. It's not uncommon for us to find copperheads and timber rattlesnakes basking in the same area, but to get them in the same shot with them being that close to each other, we don't tend to see it very often. So these are just some pictures and videos we have where we were actually able to get timber rattlesnakes and copperheads basking together in the same spot. So here's some actual video of those two species basking together. If you look closely enough, you can see that there are two copperheads in that picture right behind the black-faced timber rattlesnake. He is rattling, which you see from time to time. Here's another spot we were able to find them together. This time it's a yellow-faced timber rattlesnake, and there's a black-faced timber rattlesnake to the left of them, but they're occupying the same rock crevice, basking together. Really cool picture or video. Coming in at number 5 on the list is Aberant timber rattlesnakes. Aberrant just means the pattern's different than what's normally seen, and I'll explain in the upcoming videos. So you can see this timber rattlesnake here. He has those normal chevrons or V patterns on the back, but towards the top of his head, some of those chevrons or V patterns actually break up and connect. Here's that same snake again. Camouflaged in some leaves. You can kind of see the pattern on the back, but this next snake has the best example of it. Right in the middle, you can see all those chevrons connect. So this is what's considered an aberrant timber rattlesnake. Really unique and interesting find. I mean, with them being like this, you're able to differentiate one snake from another pretty easily. This snake in the crevice too has an aberrant pattern on the back. The chevrons connect. It's too bad we weren't able to see this guy stretched out, because it would have been really cool to see that pattern. Coming in at number 6 on the list was blood-sucking parasites on pit vipers. At one site in central Pennsylvania, we actually found Flodine Sandflies feeding on copperheads and timber rattlesnakes. This was one of the copperheads that the sandflies were feeding on. These sandflies are known to carry nasty diseases that can jump to humans. I'm not 100% sure if it's parasites or more symbiosis, because they might actually just be feeding off scar tissue or dead scales. I'm not 100% certain, but these are usually a tropical species. But we do have one sandfly that's endemic to the East Coast. Coming in at number 7 was a camouflaged copperhead. Myself and my brother were actually going to a timber rattlesnake spot. When we saw some roadside trash on the side of the road, we decided to get out and flip it. And to our amazement, we couldn't believe that there was actually I'm pretty sure it was a gravid female copperhead underneath this big piece of wood that was just in a trash pile on the side of the road. So we got some really, really interesting photos and videos of it. You can see it's camouflaged in the leaf litter perfectly. So this is the piece of trash that we flipped. Just a big wooden piece with shingles on it. Probably part of a shed or another structure, the roof of it. My brother flips it here. We were expecting maybe to find a snake, not necessarily finding a copperhead. So you can see it kind of tries to get out of the way. It's rattling its tail. And in the next videos, you can see how it's camouflaged underneath the leaf litter. Just incredible camouflage. I think these guys are responsible for the most venomous snake bites a year, and you can see why. Just how they're incredible cryptic coloration or camouflage when they're in the leaf litter. We knew where this snake was at all times, so we weren't necessarily just walking around stepping on random leaf litter and there happened to be a copperhead there. It's pretty much a controlled situation. We knew where the snake was at all times, and we took some videos and pictures, and then we coaxed the snake back underneath that piece of cover, as it was a gravid female. Coming in at number 8 was finding a hoggy or an eastern hognose snake. I was actually not present for this herping trip. My brother and his friend Chris happened upon it while hiking to a copperhead and timber rattlesnake spot, and it's an incredible find. I won't say they're rare, but they're just somewhat hard to find based on their habitats of pretty much living a fossorial life or underground life. So it's an awesome find. It's only the second one we've ever found in our life. Here's just a video of it. The video is kind of different because my brother doesn't have an iPhone, so it doesn't convert over well when I try to make a video. But just an incredible find to find an eastern hognose snake. Coming in at number 9 was finding baby rattlesnakes, or neonates as what they're called. I have found them at this site in previous years. They tend to always go in the same crevice. So I kind of knew what I was looking for. You just got to time it right, which is always the end of August, early September. So there was probably about, I want to say, between 10 and 15. So probably 2 timber rattlesnakes had given birth in this one small rock crevice. So we were able to get some videos and some pictures of the neonates with their mothers. A really, really cool find. And you'll see in these next videos how like hidden or camouflaged they are in this rock crevice. You can see the mother there, the yellow phase, and then the like charcoal grayish colored neonates in the back. There's a black phase rattlesnake there too. Like I said, I presume that to be 2 mothers, and they gave birth to probably between 5 and 10 young. So I'm going to assume there's 8 to 15 neonates or baby timber rattlesnakes in that rock crevice. And here's just another video, zoomed out a little bit further, showing just how deep back they are in that crevice, protected. And it's unique because reptiles usually don't, or snakes usually don't show parental care. So it's an interesting find. And then coming in at 10 on the list was we found a mating ball of garter snakes. It's usually one big female surrounded by many males. We assume there was one female in these videos / pictures, and then there was probably 4 to 5 smaller males mating with it. We just flipped this in some trash at a dump site, and this was in, I believe, early fall or late summer, where we discovered a mating ball of eastern garter snakes. So you can see here, my brother is just flipping trash. We flipped actually a bigger piece of tin, but there all the eastern garter snakes go in different directions. Just a interesting find. You never know what you're going to find herping. Mating ball of garter snakes, first for us, but a really, really cool find.